Have you ever felt like you just can't get past the enemy tanks? Well, consider swapping to Wolverine. He's a great tank counter, he has good sustainability and survivability, and he has great mobility around the map to flank and attack enemies from different angles. But he's weak against duelists and strategists, has low impact if your team can't follow up on your plays, and there's a learning curve to learn how his playstyle works. It's important to know that Wolverine's damage scales off of his target's HP, so the higher the HP, the better. His primary attack deals 15 damage per strike, his right click lets you dash forward while dealing 15 damage to the enemy, his E ability gives you 40% damage reduction. One of his key abilities, left shift, lets you grab onto enemies and put them out of position. So after using this ability, you have 4 seconds of increased damage and attack speed. His ult knocks enemies in the air and smashes them to the ground, stunning them while dealing AoE damage. Since his ult damage is equal to 10% of the target's max HP, scooping up the tank first, then slamming it into the enemy team lets you deal a good amount of AoE damage. While the tank is being snatched, you will also be dealing 20 damage per second while you're traveling. Now, on to the good part. His first passive, Berserker Rage, gives him a rage meter that builds up to 100 by attacking or taking hits. The higher it gets, the higher the bonus damage you will receive, and the healing from his second passive will increase too. Regenerative healing factor will activate right after your HP hits 0 and remove the debuffs. The cooldown for his healing passive is 90 seconds but gets reduced by 10 seconds per KO regardless of it being an assist or last hit. If Hulk is on your team, you can become a cannonball. With the recent 3 tank meta, Wolverine is easily one of the best counters to that. Using Wolverine will provide significant value by removing the enemy tank from the team fights. So don't just swap out if there's only one tank in the game, you can still bring a lot of impact to your team fights. Instead of only focusing on tanks, take advantage of his kit to disrupt the enemy's backline or position. Example, flanking and grabbing enemy supports can divert the front line's attention, giving your team more opportunities to push or defend. Always be patient when it comes to using your left shift ability on the enemy tanks. Keep them guessing whether you have the ability or not. A good tank will respect that and not overextend, but if they do, you know what to do. Here are some of his worst matchups. Invisible Woman, Namor if he has Ice Turret, and Mantis. They have CC abilities that can easily interrupt you, so be careful if you're playing against them. This might seem obvious, but don't just randomly jump in and grab the tanks if you know that your team is not ready for any follow-ups. If there's any tips I've left out, please feel free to share them down in the comments below. And now that you know how to play Wolverine, thank you so much for watching, and if you're liking this 3-minute hero guide series, a like and a sub helps the channel out a lot. More guides to come, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!